Hi everyone, yasas que kalos tirsate to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a Greek-inspired twist on a viral favorite. I know you guys have probably seen the crispy shawarma wraps all over the internet. Today I'm going to do my version with a crispy chicken souvlaki wrap. Tender, juicy chicken is in these, creamy tzatziki, cheese, all the delicious things. Of course, some potatoes, just like a traditional chicken souvlaki in gyro has in Greece. These are perfect for a weeknight dinner if you're making them for a party and you want to serve up something delicious and special. Let me show you how I make them. Okay, we're going to begin by marinating the chicken. So I'm using boneless, skinless chicken thighs, making a smaller batch today. So all I have is 1.5 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. You can roast these or broil these whole or slice them up like I'm doing here. I'm just going to slice them up and put them in a bowl, drizzle some olive oil on top and some salt and freshly cracked black pepper, a heaping teaspoon of dried oregano, a teaspoon of ground coriander, and a little bit of thyme. I have some grated garlic. You can do up to 4 or 5 cloves if you like, or as little as 2. The juice of a lemon. Just mix that all together and just set the chicken aside while everything else gets prepared. So of course we're making tzatziki for this, and I've made tzatziki for the channel so many times. It's so easy to make. We're gonna grate up some cucumbers and sprinkle them with some salt, put them in a strainer, and that's gonna help all of the juices release to keep the tzatziki nice and thick. I'm using a Greek yogurt and sour cream. Sour cream is something that my mom always adds, and I make it like that all the time because it makes the tzatziki so much more rich and creamy. And I have 2 garlic cloves that are grated because I'm making a little bit of a bigger batch of tzatziki. I'm making spanakopita tomorrow, and I'm gonna serve the tzatziki with that, so I need extra. So make sure you squeeze out all of the water from the cucumber and then mix everything all together. If you want to freshen it up a little bit more and you have some dried mint in your pantry, you can add a little pinch of dried mint in here. Mix it all up and it's ready. In Greece, many people like to add a little splash of white vinegar in here. I don't. I like it more creamy and less tangy, but totally up to you. The tzatziki is ready. You can keep this refrigerated until you're ready to use it. And then we're going to make the potatoes, the french fries that are going to go in here. I'm not frying them today. I'm just going to roast them in the oven just to keep it a little bit lighter. I'm just going to cut up these potatoes into little sticks. You can adjust the thickness to what you prefer. These are going to be drizzled with olive oil, seasoned with salt and pepper, and then spread them out on a baking tray. These are going to bake at 425 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 minutes until they're golden and crispy. You can cook these not too crispy, and then if you're serving it later on in the day, you could pop them in the air fryer if you have one, or put them under the broiler very carefully for a few seconds right before you serve them. But these are going to go inside the sandwich and also served on the side, so I'm making extra. The potato part is done. Now we're going to make the flavored oil that's going to go on top of the tortilla later on. This is so good. It adds, again, lots of flavor. So I do have some of this loaded oil that I made the other day. I had it in the fridge, so I'm going to take some of it out. There's the juice of the sun-dried tomatoes in here, the feta flavor that is already in this oil, and of course this has some olives too, and that's going to flavor it even more with a little bit of olive oil in a little bowl. And then I'll just season it with some dried oregano, a little bit of garlic powder, some paprika for color. This is sweet paprika, not the smoked one, and some salt and pepper. Mix that all up. This is going to go over the tortilla and make it nice and crispy and just give maximum flavor. So now we are going to cook the chicken. So I put a baking pan, make sure it's a metal baking pan, in the oven so it can get really nice and hot. And this is a little trick that I do just so that way I can get the chicken seared and it stays really juicy like that. You can skip this part if you're making your chicken in the air fryer and just heat up your air fryer really well before you put the chicken in there. The chicken is going to go inside the hot pan. You're going to hear a nice sizzle. Spread it out, make sure it's in one even layer, and this is going to go under the broiler. Make sure your oven is at the broiler setting for about 20 minutes or until it's cooked, juicy, has a little bit of color on it, and that's it. We're just going to layer everything all together, but before we do, I'll slice up a shallot and a tomato just so that way they're ready to go in the sandwich. We have all the components ready. We're ready to assemble them. So I'm using flour tortillas today. You can use pita bread. That's just as delicious and actually more traditional. And then we're going to put a slice of cheese. I'm using Gouda cheese. You can use shredded cheese, mozzarella if you like, Gruyere, whatever your favorite cheese is. You could add it at this point or leave it out altogether. Feta cheese would be really great too. And then we'll top it with a layer of chicken, tzatziki as much as your heart desires, of course. I'll put tomatoes and onions on top of that, and then French fries. These are gonna go on top because in all gyros in Greece, you're gonna find French fries in that sandwich, and it's so good. We're gonna wrap this up, brush the top with that lovely oil that we just made. My cast iron skillet is heating over medium-low. This is gonna go seam side down first for about 5 minutes. Keep an eye on it so it doesn't burn. Sometimes pans can get really, really hot and you don't want this to burn. You just want it to get nice and crispy. Flip it over and cook it another 4 or 5 minutes on the other side, and then make sure you get the sides of the bread also. The whole exterior is gonna be crispy. The inside of the bread is gonna be soft. The chicken is nice and juicy, and all of those flavors are gonna come together. And that's it. This is ready to serve. And there you have it. The crispy chicken souvlaki wraps are ready. It's just a few steps, but you can definitely replicate this for a big group. You just have to make everything, just bigger batches of everything, and then assemble it and warm it over the stovetop to get the crispy, flavorful tortilla. You might be using pita bread. Like I said before, that works well too. I love hearing from you, especially when you make the recipes and you let me know how they came out and different variations, what worked, what didn't. Post it all down below. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. If you'd like to print this recipe out, you can head on over to the website, dimitrasdishes.com. Yes, us.